program is sponsored by Tropical Acres Steakhouse.
Hold the Mayo. It's time for Mike Mayo's Lunchbox. Find out what's being served with Mike, Defo, and Lubie, the only show that covers food, sports, and the proper maintenance of your car. And now, a man who had the distinction of having an entire health clinic named in his honor, Mike Mayo.
I want the flim flam sauce with the awesome bay, with shafafa on the side.
Happy Monday, and welcome to another edition of Mike Mayo's Lunchbox, streaming to you live on the Soulfly Live networks on Facebook and YouTube, along with later on today the audio-only replay of the show on the oldiesouthflorida.com radio network on your radio dials from 8 to 9 p.m. at 95.3, 96.9, and 1470 a.m. on your dial with the other FM channels. We welcome back to the show, Mike Lubie Lubitz, and still absent, but doing well in New Orleans. I've heard from him, Jeff Defo DeForest. He should be back tomorrow unless he makes a major score and just stays there for a while, which is always a possibility. How are you today, Lubie? How was your weekend?
My weekend was well, sir. Was in Orlando to help celebrate in belated fashion my sister-in-law's birthday. So they had just moved from Fort Myers to Orlando, my brother-in-law and sister-in-law. So we saw their place, spent time in Orlando, and did not go to Disney, which is a win in my book.
Yes.
So we enjoyed
What do you
ourselves.
do in Orlando? Did you go to any restaurants or any
We went to,
chains?
okay, so interesting enough, we went to a place and it was called Estefan's Kitchen. So you would assume it was Gloria Estefan's Kitchen, but we didn't know. So we looked it up as we were walking in, and I'm like, oh my God, which is cool. And they did a great job. The appetizers were phenomenal. And then her family is like the opposite of my family. Like let's get a big meal and hide it. Her family loves sort of tapas style, where we get a bunch of stuff and we taste a little bit of everything. So that's what we got: 4 different appetizers, and then we got one main course. And it was great, man. They had a sweet plantain wrapped in bacon.
So this is associated with Gloria and Amelia and Stefan, because they had a place originally at the Hard Rock, the complex at the casino. It was outdoors, the Paradise Shops, and I think it was known as Bongos, or that was the one near the arena, or there was one in South Beach known as Bongos. I'm all confused, but now I guess they've just rebranded and make it Estefan's Kitchen, which makes sense. And did you have any Cuban sandwiches in honor of both Sandwich Month, or actually tomorrow is National Cuban Sandwich Day, and of course we'll be celebrating it at even keel, and maybe I'll bring in a Cuban sandwich to nosh on while we're also eating the good fish stuff like the lobster rolls and the other seafood treats that we're going to have with Brad and Dave tomorrow at our remote show. But did you have a Cuban sandwich at Estefan's?
Yes, and then one of their appetizers, and it was really cool, was Cuban sandwiches. But what they did was give you 4 small, like little quarters of a Cuban,
kind of like Cuban sliders, Cubano sliders almost. So
what I will say is too, and I talked about it there with them, and they did the lechon asada instead of sliced, and it worked out fine. So if you're gonna do
how I feel about this.
I know. But because it was smaller, you could put one of the smaller pieces, right? So it lays like it is a sliced pork. Because to me, I don't like it. I know.
Look, you could smush down that lechon asado and make it as flat as possible. And I know, but then look, to me, when I grew up, not that I'm Cuban or a South Floridian, but when I moved here in 1989, the only Cuban sandwiches that we saw down here was completely flat, and they would use the sliced roast pork, so it was like another cold cuts, just thin slices that you would pile on with your ham, and it was all a very compressed sandwich. Somewhere along the line, somebody put on the lechon asado, which is juicier. I agree. Maybe from a flavor profile, while it's get a little bit more juicy and a little more fat and flavor. But to me, it betrays the simple, flat nature of the Cuban sandwich. We'll have more of this argument tomorrow, and also online on the Let's Eat South Florida Facebook group. I'm glad that we're up and streaming there today. I hope people are tuning in, if not now, during the live stream from 12 to 1. And it's nice that we're on time today. No technical glitches. And and then or tune in whenever, and share it with a friend, because we like to have a little fun and frivolity here. We're going to have some fun and frivolity with food and football today. I'm going to be very pleased to welcome back to the Lunchbox, but for his first video appearance, hopefully, if all goes well, my friend of the show, and now newly named Dolphins columnist / analyst for the South Florida Sun Sentinel, Chris Perkins. And it's like everything old is new again, because Perkins has been on the Dolphins beat I don't know how many times for how many publications, but he's been, shifted off the news desk. He was at the Sun Sentinel for a while again, but doing some news coverage, kind of like taking after me, being a Renaissance man. And Perky loves his food too, so we'll talk to him a little bit about the upcoming Dolphins season, not just from a football angle, but from a road trip angle. And he'll answer the key question of when he goes to Cincinnati for that Thursday night road game, will he risk eating lunch at Skyline Chili? Because it's always a dangerous proposition if you eat a big Skyline Chili meal before a big event. Wear some Depends problem. Perhaps.
Exactly.
All right. Meanwhile, hopefully he'll be tuning and chiming in at some point after the first break. It's a Tropical Acres Monday. We have so much to do today, so much to do before between now and the end of Sandwich Month. It has just been a veritable orgy of sandwiches, and it's continuing, Lubie. And, ever since Sarney gave me grief, Jim Sarney, the official mascot, statistician, scorekeeper of the Lunchbox, gave me grief. And look, I have a platter here now, because he was like saying that I should be eating sandwiches on the weekends and not just the weekdays. And again, my goal was,
I love Shiny, but I don't like that.
So
I feel like it's putting too much pressure on you, and
it's okay.
you're getting half-assed sandwiches.
As long as I don't have to eat 7 hot dogs and potato rolls in 10 minutes, I could put down sandwiches every day and Sunday. Okay. And I did. And here I've got my platter. You can't really see it. It's kind of a little bit schlock, but I have 2 of my weekend leftover sandwiches. So I am showing the audience out there that I did my duty and ate my sandwiches over the weekend. And again, we went into the weekend at 28 sandwiches, and it was what was the 19th? So we went in 28, and my magic number was 3, as Sarney told me, in order to clinch the division, in order to get to 31 for the 31 days. And again, we're not even counting the pregame warm-up sandwich on July 31st that I had, the meatloaf sandwich. But here we go. On Saturday, I ended up, this was a kind of a late substitution sandwich. My intent, Lubie, because I went up to the grand opening of Batch Cookie Company, Batch Cookies, my friend Max Santiago, the very talented pastry chef. And Batch Cookies opened their latest location in Boca Raton at the Town Center Shops, not the Town Center Mall. A little bit confusing. I actually went to the wrong place first, but it was all good. But it was incredible that, the Batch, the first one opened up in Flagler Village in Fort Lauderdale. And it's these high-end cookies that kids go crazy for. The kids, meaning, teens, my daughters, they put them up on TikTok. There's a whole bunch of these cookie stores now. There's Crumble, there's Night Owl, there's Midnight Cookies. I happen to think Batch is the best, followed closely by Night Owl Cookies, which is down in Miami mainly. I don't like Crumble so much. Don't ask me why. I think they're too sweet, not very refined, and they're all assembled for just Instagram. But all these cookie shops kind of are. And they go for between $4 and $6 a cookie. Max also created this new Frankenstein creation called the Donookie. Did you get to see any of that on my Instagram?
Talked about it. It looks freaking ridiculous. And my wife, look, I've never been the biggest fan of eating raw cookie dough. It sort of weirds me out. But Shirley loved it. Like, they literally sell it now in its own cups of raw cookie dough. So I actually want to take her out there for that, because I feel like she's not a huge donut fan, but she'd love that donut.
So let me tell you something. So they have 2 varieties of these Donookies, and Max was up all night, like baking hundreds of them for the opening. And I got to tell you, they weren't even giving anything away there to the customers. They were lined up and down the block there outside the mall. It was crazy that, you just open something new and people just show up, and they were just buying these Donookies, not by the dozen, because if you try to eat a dozen of them, they would kill you. But, if you have one of them, and they're kind of pricey. They were priced at $9 and change per Donookie.
What?
And I mentioned that on the group, and Max came back and said, look, he's using very high quality ingredients. And the other thing is they're paying a very livable wage to their workers. They want good workers, and they want people who are motivated. They're paying rates, I think, upwards of $20 an hour to their staff.
What?
And then it becomes that age-old question of, like, if you really care about the hospitality business, are you willing to pay for people being treated right? And that's going to be a question that the marketplace is going to answer in terms of, will it sustain the $5 cookie and $9 donookie? But aside from the cost, Max hooked me up with a box or two of the product, and I waited to eat it until my daughter got off work at the ice cream store she works at. She didn't eat any ice cream that day. She just dived into the cookies and donookies. The regular, I guess, kind of like a chocolate chip or regular kind of donookie, I found that a little too sweet and cloying. And but he did a chocolate donookie, which I thought was like perfectly balanced, because the chocolate was a little bit less sweet, a little bit more on the kind of semi-sweet side. And I thought it balanced out with the interior of the cookie dough really beautifully. And if you have that with like a cup of black coffee or a glass of milk, that is like
milk.
some
Oh my God.
that is some diabetic coma perfection right there. So that was fun. But anyway, I got done with that. And again, I didn't eat any. Well, I had one cookie. That was the way I started the eating day. And then I was going to roll over, because I was up in Boca, to VNS Deli. Now, have you been to VNS Deli?
Oh, that I haven't been. I've been to, like, if I even noticed, when you guys have your little tete-a-tetes, I've eaten Las Patas. I've never eaten VNS, so I withhold my judgment. One of these days, I'm sure you'll wrangle me to VNS. I've heard amazing things. I've heard about it all my life, so I'm curious to see where it stacks up for me compared to Las Patas.
Well, it's different. It's kind of a standalone sub shop. There's no other locations. It was started by two brothers from Queens in New York, Vinny and Sal. One of them just recently retired. I think it was, I get them confused. It was either Vinny or Sal. Take your pick. And one of them kind of went off into the sunset, but the other one, I think it's Vinny is still going and Sal left. I might have that mixed up, and my apologies. But they have a great crew in there. And again, they get these loaves of the kind of the really crusty Italian bread that's baked soft and delivered fresh every day from an undisclosed location. I think it's a little private bakery in Coral Springs, I've heard. But they've got these loaves that's either with the sesame seeds or plain without. And they also have other, they have regular rolls, kind of the whole bulky rolls, whatever you call them. But the best thing you want to get there is their Italian sub rolls. Okay. And I get it with the sesame seeds.
You got a haircut.
And it's just,
I've been futzing. Your hair looks good.
Oh, yeah, you futzing. Yeah, I got the Friday was daddy-daughter haircut day. And so, yeah, I didn't shave today, but I do have a haircut.
Look nice.
So, Chris Perkins is in the house. You know what? Let's bring him in. Let's just bring him in before the break. It's all good. Let's see. There he is. Look at that. Has he got the green screen?
Like a background.
Yeah. There is no way. There is no way he has a pool outside his window on the 7th floor in Bay Harbor or wherever it is. What's up, Perk?
What's up, fellas? How you doing?
Welcome to the Lunchbox. I brought sandwiches.
Beautiful. I like it, man. I like it.
I got 2 left over from the weekend. I've got 1 freshie from Shenanigans, our friends who celebrated their 30th anniversary over the weekend. And I got a nice fresh blackened mahi sandwich because I've been very light on the seafood. One of the few seafood entries I ate this month for Sandwich Month was with you, Perky, and it happened to be my worst sandwich of the month. I hope that's not a precursor to anything, but you remember. Why don't you describe that meal, and what did you have that day at the Yard House? You had shrimp tacos, I believe, right?
Yeah. That was at the Yard House.
Yard House at Gulfstream.
Yeah. Down at Gulfstream, and I don't see. Should I mention that name?
What's that?
Sponsors, we don't care.
No. This is a reality-based show. We talk about food, the good, the bad, the ugly. If they're sponsors, they're sponsors for a reason because they do a good job. If they're not sponsors, we're gonna be, we're always honest. And I just think Yard House has gone downhill. It used to be a great place that I always liked, and sadly it's one of those places that have trended downward. But you don't need to get into all that stuff. But just tell me.
Look. I'll say this: the shrimp tacos, they were all right. I enjoyed them. The beer was cold. I like the way you order at that place from the little iPad right there that they have. That's very convenient. That's brilliant, I think.
You say you like that. I don't like it. To
Dale
me,
hates it.
I go to a restaurant for the personal touch, the little interaction, maybe a little advice from the server. And
Right.
here it's so impersonal. I guess it's great for people who
I
are
want to get in now.
antisocial.
Yeah.
But and then the thing is, then you try to like make a special order, and the next thing you know, it's like your head is gonna explode because like all the buttons, and then you can't go back. I'm an old fogey. What can I say? You say, okay, boomer, even though technically I'm Gen X. But anyway, welcome to the show, Perkins, and I got to say congratulations on the new gig. How
Congrats.
are you?
Yeah,
The
thanks,
new
man.
gig.
It's like a little homecoming going back to the Dolphins, man. So we'll see what they have this year. I've covered, this will be my, I think, 12th season,
Wow.
and I've covered 3 playoff appearances. That was and 2 of them were in 2001, and then the last one, of course, yeah, and then the last one, of course, in 2016, man. So we'll see what they got. I mean, they have playoff expectations. I think they have playoff talent, but let's see if they can deliver. That's always the story with the Dolphins, right?
Have you been out
It
yet?
always-
Have you been to camp yet? I know your duties were crossing over. When do you start really in your new role?
Oh, well, I'll break the news right here. I start on Saturday. So,
Nice.
yeah, I was out at the game last Saturday, and then I'll be out there on Wednesday and Thursday for the joint practices with the Eagles. And then my first official day on the job is Saturday in that Eagles game, which of course no starters are going to play. So we'll be watching a bunch of guys who are going to be future stockbrokers or high school football coaches or whatever. But hey, it's football, right? It's NFL football.
So I got to ask you, are you in as much alarm as all these other people because Tua didn't necessarily have the best preseason game showing, or what do we make of this? Is it
No, you know what I'm up in arms about, which is what every other media member is up in arms about, is the run game, the lack of run game. Because Mike McDaniel is supposed to be a run game coach from what he did in San Francisco. And look, Tua is going to be a much better quarterback, like all quarterbacks or most quarterbacks, if he can throw off a play action. And so they haven't been able to get that run game going. So yeah, Mayo, that's what I'm outraged about this run game and the offensive line resources. And that's my fury right now.
But can we make any judgments? And we haven't even seen. Is it Mostert is like going to be the number?
Mostert hasn't played, and Terran
Armstead hasn't played.
And Hill and
Mayo, of course we can't make any judgments, but I'm paid to make judgments now. I've got to be outraged, man. I'm gonna be fuming. I'm gonna be fuming by Saturday. You watch.
No, and it's funny because a couple of weeks ago when I was just like beginning to maybe pay attention to the team for I don't even know why, but I was just saying, who's this? Are they going to have a running game? And then like Lubie chided me like, they got all these free agents, they got most of it, they're going to be fine, blah blah blah. But I don't know, are they going to be fine? We don't.
I don't
know.
think so. Mostert is coming off the knee injury.
Right.
They got Myles Gaskin who's coming back, but they don't have that one stud running back. They don't have that road grading offensive line. This offensive line is still a little too passive. They're pass blockers as opposed to road grading aggressive run blockers. But look, I'm not one who's all over the offensive line and everything like that, because look, Cincinnati just made it to the Super Bowl with one of the worst offensive lines in the league. Dallas for all those years had the best offensive line in the league, and they couldn't win a playoff game. So but I will be outraged by Saturday at this damn Dolphins.
You gotta work up.
Get it right. I will be outraged.
Gotta work up the outrage. All right, we're here with Chris Perkins, newly named Dolphins columnist for the South Florida Sun Sentinel, my old stomping grounds. He's back on his old stomping grounds. He's worked for every publication out there under the sun. He's covered the Dolphins for almost every publication under the sun, but it's good to have you back off the news desk. And although I guess you were writing a big retrospective on Hurricane Andrew's 30th anniversary. I can't believe it's been 30 years, and I remember it very distinctly, right? Did that run yet? Did I miss that in the Sunday paper? I didn't really read. I was too busy eating sandwiches all weekend. So
yeah, you missed it. Thanks for paying attention, Mayo. I appreciate that. We're struggling over here, and you're saying that this big story run. Thanks, Mayo. I appreciate that.
Was it the cover of yesterday? Because I was running around yesterday. Tell me it was in Sunday's paper.
Yeah. It was on the
Okay.
cover. It was on the
Okay,
cover.
then I'm gonna go
Wow.
back. I have it on the pile on my coffee table. I was running around yesterday, so apologies. I do remember being at a Dolphins game like 2 nights before the storm struck, and this was before the days of relentless hype, and we didn't even know how big and furious it was gonna be. I remember I think it was against Baltimore Ravens. I think it was a home game. I think it was on a Saturday night, and I think I was the beat writer for the Sun Sentinel at that point. And they kept showing these updates of, oh, there's this storm out there and it looks like it's getting more organized and it looks like it's going to be maybe hitting us. And people were kind of relaxed and they were still getting drunk and drinking beer, and they weren't all running out to Home Depot, if there was a Home Depot back then. I don't even remember. But what were your memories? Were you here at that point, or you were still somewhere in parts unknown?
No, I was still living in Dallas. I moved here in February of '97. By the way, what's up to Jim Sarney? He has sent us a message there, man. Yeah, should Mayo take the over or under on the win total?
That's a bet we're gonna. So we had a bet about the Panthers that Mayo lost, even though he
remembers. He was part of that because he was doing the shows a couple of times.
We want to do a new one. We want to give him a chance to get back around.
Get even.
We're letting him pick. It's set at 8.5. We've seen 9.5, 9, whatever. 8.5 over under. Dolphins win total. And I guess Sarney wants you to help. I don't know how, if you can, as a beat writer, but
and I'm stalling, Perk. I say I need more time. Give me till September 1st to make the final determination.
Man, 8.5 is a good number. I thought it would be 9.5. I hadn't even looked. 8.5. You know what? Right now, I'm gonna say take the under because I don't trust their depth.
You negative,
listen,
you nattering nabob of negativism. You're the home team Dolphins columnist. You should be getting the pom-poms. Why not over?
I got to get over my offensive line outrage first. The offensive line outrage, and I've got to drum up by Saturday, and then it's going to take me another couple of weeks to get over it. So that that's my pattern right now.
Well, I'm in a. Well, go ahead.
Oh no, I was going to go back to Andrew real quick, but I moved here in February of '97, and a lot of those memories of Andrew were fresh. But a lot of the people that I spoke with for this story, Brian Norcross being one of them, and it was people talking about holding up the mattress to the window after it had blown open. I talked to Ron McGill from the Miami Zoo, and he said he was driving down to the zoo, and one of the first things he saw was a bunch of monkeys in the street. And a lot of them were bleeding, but he said they were from a University of Miami research lab that was next door to the zoo. And he said one of the things that he remembers is the rumor started that those monkeys were used as research monkeys for AIDS research. And he said what happened was a bunch of people came out with shotguns and they were killing the monkeys. And he said it was horrific. But there were a lot of anecdotes like that you always heard about, the people holding up the mattress after the window had blown in.
Butch Davis,
a mobile home in the front yard. I hadn't heard that thing that Ron McGill shared about the monkeys.
Now that was a new one, and we do have monkeys here in Dania Beach that were part of a research laboratory that are now kind of taken up in the wild. But thankfully, nobody goes out and shoots them, and they still hang out there right behind the airport. But we're talking with Chris Perkins. We're talking a little Hurricane Andrew, and I remember Butch Davis and the whole University of Miami staff. They all got basically left homeless. Everybody that lived down south, in the Gables and parts south, Kendall, Perrine. Country Walk. I mean, that was nasty down there, and there but for the grace of God go we, because I remember the storm was projected to make landfall right on the county line, Hallandale, which is near where I was living up in Hollywood. And I had to evacuate. I went to my man Chris Lazzarino at the time, colleague, and he had an apartment all the way out west, West Tamarack or Sunrise. And I remember I went off with my provisions. I was young and single, and just brought a bottle of vodka and a couple of pairs of clothes and a passport. But we had power knocked out for 7 days where I lived in Hollywood. But again, that storm, thank goodness. Well, I mean, it's unfortunate for the people of Homestead and South Miami. But if it didn't take that jog south, it would have been much, much, much worse. I mean, incomprehensible, a Cat 5 storm of that magnitude going across all those high rises right on the beach in Aventura, Hallandale. But it did take that jog. But anyway, hey, you could stick around, right, Perk?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Let's we're going to take our first break, and it's time for me to talk about the great deals ongoing the rest of August and all September with our friends at Visit Lauderdale, Neki Mohan. This Thursday, we're going to be doing a Visit Lauderdale, Everyone Under the Sun, Every Dish Under the Sun segment at Il Paesano Italian Restaurant and Marketplace on Oakland Park Boulevard, just east of Federal Highway in Fort Lauderdale. It's going to be a delightful time there Thursday from 12 to 1 with Neki and crew because again, it's Everyone Under the Sun. The couple that run it is they're from South Africa, but they're of Italian and Portuguese descent. So they have a little bit of everything in their shop, including some great Pinotage wines from South Africa, along with they do a great pasta cheese wheel dinner a couple of times a month, the Italian food, and sometimes they prepare specialty Portuguese dinner. I had the pleasure of sitting in on one of those. Paisano will be there on Thursday. Meanwhile, you can go out to all these other kinds of restaurants around town to enjoy the great deals going on for Dine Out Lauderdale, and that's where dozens and dozens of top restaurants offering amazing 3 and 4 course meals starting at just $35. Places along the beach like Dune and Evelyn's at the new Four Seasons Hotel and Residences on Fort Lauderdale Beach. Places on Las Olas like Wild Sea Oyster Bar and Grill at the Riverside Hotel. There's places out and about like Cookin' the Cork in Coral Springs and our friends Cafe Max in Pompano Beach. And I didn't realize La Vie Lebanese cuisine in Pompano is taking part in Dine Out Lauderdale. And that's a great spot for Lebanese, Middle Eastern cuisine, along with all kinds of live shows. They have belly dancing and other entertainment on the weekends. So all kinds of good stuff. Oh, there's a place near me in the Meridian Hotel right next to the Fort Lauderdale Airport in Dania Beach called Toro. And I've been meaning to get in there.
I've heard
really
about that.
upscale Latin cuisine. I want to get in there. And again, if August was sandwich month for me, September is going to be Dine Out Lauderdale month for me. I'm going to try to tick off as many different places and go to new spots that I've never been to before and try their Dine Out Lauderdale menus because it's such a great deal. Go online to check out all the restaurants taking part at visitlauderdale.com/deals. There's more than 50 participating restaurants. Check it out. Plan your culinary adventure to Greater Fort Lauderdale and get your taste of the good life for less. Again, dig in now at visitlauderdale.com/deals.
All righty, check out Mike Mayo's Lunchbox each and every day right here at 12 p.m. on South Florida Live.
My sandwiches have gotten cold. I'm going to have to eat cold
start
sandwiches.
eating them. I don't know what the heck you're doing. Mayo's going to start munching down. We got the one and only Chris Perkins on the Dolphins columnist for the
Eggplant Parmesan. Little well done.
Back in the fold. And we'll have you back in the fold, not only here, but each and every day. You can check us out at 8 o'clock when you're driving around on the oldies, South Florida as well. More Mike Mayo's Lunchbox. Come back right here on South Florida Live.
Did you get the crunch? Looking for a great place for steaks, seafood, and more? Go to Tropical Acres Steakhouse and Butcher Shop. It's at 2500 Griffin Road in Dania, just west of I-95 in the airport. They've been there a long time, since 1949. That means they're doing something right. You'll get old school hospitality from the Studiali family, along with great value, tremendous service. Of course, you could also go into the bar for happy hour every day, 4 to 6. The early bird special runs from 4:30 to 5:30, and they have great value all night long. Also, a butcher shop that's open every day from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. except Sunday. The dining room is open every day at 4:30 except Sunday. Go to Tropical Acres. Tell them the Lunchbox sent you. Hey, it's Mike Mayo here for Costas Greek Eatery and Pizzeria. If you want to take a trip to the Aegean without getting on a plane and no need for a passport, just go up to 1940 Northeast 49th Street in Pompano Beach, just west of Federal Highway, just a little bit north of Sample Road, and you will be transported to Greece along with a New York-style pizzeria. They do it both so well. They got Greek specialties like gyros and souvlaki and the grape leaves and the spinach pie, and also great New York thin, crisp New York-style Greek pizza with pepperoni. Don't miss that one. And of course, spinach and gorgonzola. Costa is a great guy. He'll smash a plate, say Opa, and greet and treat you like family. Go to Costas. It's open every day for lunch and dinner. Tell him the Lunchbox Mayo and Defo sent you. We're back on the Lunchbox. As usual, caught me with food in my mouth. Unusual. It's not a sandwich. It's a French fry. I just snuck in a French fry from Shenanigans. Perkins, indulge me for a moment. because we got to get through the eating portion before we get back to
Right.
football.
So I'm
and
just
fun.
filling time here while you
Okay.
stuff your face, basically.
You're waiting for time.
This is what we do every day, and well, every day this month, and it is gross, it's horrendous, but now that we've added this video component, I think it's just a waste to not showcase food. All right, so Saturday after the batch cookie opening, I was going to go to VNS Subs and get a couple of subs for the rest of the weekend. Lubie's never been there. I love the place, but there was a line out the door and it was going to take a while. I guess everybody was loading up for Dolphins preseason game. I went there at about 3:00. And I'm going to make it in there before the end of the month because VNS is like one of my favorite sandwiches in town. I have to give props to all my favorites. But I ended up going south to Fran's Chicken Haven on a Federal Highway. Have you ever heard of that place, Perk? It's called Fran's Chicken Haven.
No,
For some
sounds
reason,
good, though.
For some reason, it's a little hole in the wall fried chicken shop that's been there since like 1964, older than me. So it's been around more than 50 years. They know they're doing something right. And you know, I've only been in there before. I've been in there numerous times, but I've only gotten fried chicken platters and plates. But they do these sandwiches now. And it's called the bacon jam sandwich. They spread out this bacon jam on the bottom part. It's on a big bun. And they have these like, you know, battered boneless pieces. They put on, I thought it was just going to be like one breast, like Popeyes or something. No, it's like a chicken thigh boneless and a chicken breast boneless. And they just pile it on there.
One sandwich?
With the bacon jam. And again, this is what's left of it. I ate like half of it on Saturday. I put some slaw on top. They have this kind of like sweet, spicy barbecue sauce called the Fran sauce that they have. They have a sandwich called the Franwich where they dip the chicken in the sauce. But that sounded a little extreme. So I just got the bacon jam where they put the Fran sauce on the side. Anyway, I'm going to take one more bite of the, this is from Fran's Chicken Haven in Boca Raton. And $12.99 served with fries and slaw. A little bit expensive, but it's one of those like, you know, it's a unique South Florida experience. And I recommend it heartily. And I'll let Perkins and Lubie talk sports while I take a bite.
All right. Well, hey, look, Lubie, first, let's say hey to Easy E out there. Thomas, he's a fan of Fran's chicken livers. I'm not a big chicken liver fan. I love a gizzard now. I will mess up a gizzard, but I'm not a big
They have gizzards.
Yeah.
They have everything. Check out my IG because I posted the menu along with a guy just like throwing the chicken out of the fryer. It's like some good video there. Can anybody hear me?
Let's Mayo, you eat. I'll hijack the show real quick.
No, I gotta get my second sandwich. This is my second leftover Sunday sandwich.
All right, hey, and thanks for texting me and asking me because I wasn't doing anything yesterday. But you know, that's all good, Mayo. It's all good. It's all good. Lubie,
let me ask you, what are you most excited about? Because we haven't talked to you in a while. We know you were busy doing your thing, but as you know, Defo and I have hardcore news very often. So.
I'm excited about taking a bite of this eggplant parmesan, one of my first vegetarian entrees into the mix from my local Italian place, Concadoro in Dania Beach. Easy on a Sunday. They're closed on Mondays. Again, vegetarian, not vegan, has got all kinds of Parmesan cheese over it. All right. Sorry to interrupt. I will keep eating now.
You keep eating. But
eggplant parm, if you're a Seinfeld fan, George Steinbrenner would be proud of you. The eggplant parm that Costanza got him. Anyway, let's go.
Well, I just wanted, because Mayo's talked about going from sports to news to then going to food, which it feels like that's where he was meant to be all along. Sports news.
I've achieved my destiny.
Dream, exactly. The goal's been, you've hit all goals. What, like for you, were you looking to get back into sports? I know you've done a lot of different things. Are you excited to get back into the Dolphins and, you know, be quote unquote?
Yeah, you know what? I can't wait to get back into the grind, Lubie. Some people say that I'm sick because, you know, covering the NFL, it's a lifestyle change, really, because you're always on Twitter, you're always on social media looking for the next thing, hoping you didn't get beat, injuries, transactions, trade rumors, all that kind of stuff. But look, man, I love doing news. It was a welcome change at the time because, you know, the Dolphins, they can wear on you like any team, but the Dolphins, this constant state of mediocrity. And I always say about the Dolphins, look, they don't suck. They've just been mediocre for 2 decades, right? 9-7, 7-9, 9-8. Like they don't really suck. They just leave you wanting more, and you just wonder, you know, why can't they get to the playoffs? Like, you know, with all the teams that get in the playoffs nowadays, why can't they ever get in? But yes, Mayo.
I got to call timeout because my mouth is actually clear of food for a very rare circumstance. You mentioned, the 24/7 grind and nature of it. Now it is fun to follow a team and to be kind of the voice of both reason and the fans, which is sometimes incongruous. But you mentioned Twitter. All right, I got to lay something on you here, Perk. Because I looked up these stats. You're filling some pretty big shoes. Omar Kelly, we all loved Omar. Yeah. I remember when he was a young intern, and he looked up to me for some reason, and he said he admired my style, and he took off with that. Do you know how many? Okay, I looked up the Twitter files here. I've looked up. Do you know how many tweets you've done in your lifetime over the course of your sports and news and everything career?
I'm gonna guess like 23,000.
A little over. You're good. 28,400 tweets according to Twitter. Now, can you guess how many tweets Omar Kelly has sent out? I guess this includes retweets.
The person I like, Kelly. Omar Kelly will like.
Oh no, but I just want to.
Omar is probably about 250,000.
Yeah.
Higher.
Right,
Higher.
500,000.
He's at 383,500 tweets.
Yeah.
You're only trailing him by 355,000 tweets. You could send out 1,000 tweets a day for the next year and just barely catch up to him. How sick is that?
Look, I'll tell you something more sick about Omar, because I was at his wedding. He had somebody in his wedding party that he met on Twitter. So, like, Omar takes Twitter seriously. Like, Omar is the Twitter king.
I'll maybe buy a hot dog for somebody on Let's Eat South Florida that I run into at a restaurant, but ain't no way they're coming to any family functions. Let me tell you that.
That's my man. Oh, you know that. I am not going to try to equal what Omar did on Twitter or otherwise. I'm Chris Perkins. That's Omar Kelly, so I can't be him, but I'll do my thing.
So how'd you like doing news then? Because Mayo enjoyed news, but it got on him. Defo and I have mocked it. We both dabbled in news, and we couldn't hang. Like, how did you? So you did like doing news? I've always found that interesting. Sports news.
Yeah, no, it was fascinating and it was interesting. News is just obviously it's so much more serious, and the consequences, and you're covering things involving death and just really grave circumstances. And I'll give you a reality check that I had in my final weeks. Well, I'm in my final week, but a couple of weeks ago, I had to go into the office to get a new laptop because mine was messing up, and I had been at the courthouse covering a couple of trials, and I'm walking down the hallway of the courthouse, and I'm like, I got to go to the damn office. It's a pain in my ass, and I got to drive up there, and I got to wait around, and blah blah blah. And I'm looking at some of these people in the courthouse, and I'm like, man, people are in here for hit and run trials and rape and murder, and on both sides of these things, somebody's going to prison, somebody's family got messed up, and you're here complaining about yourself. Snap out of it. Like, you don't get that walking around the facility of the Dolphins. Maybe somebody blew out their knee, but they're a millionaire, so it doesn't matter. The reality checks are just so totally different in both, but I loved it. I loved it in news. Look, I was at Surfside for a couple of days. I was at Trump's return to Mar-a-Lago, so I saw some, and I'm not saying that the Surfside thing was good in any way, but I just saw some real once in a lifetime type things.
If you're into, again, we get into news because we know there's going to be some big stories. We know there's going to be some tragic stories, and we're there to bear witness and to do justice to those who got. Who are victims of tragedies or crimes. And you mentioned, you go to the courthouse, and that is a reality check. It's perspective. And it's funny because, you go with dealing with these pampered rich athletes who don't want to be dealing with you. And then you go yourself, and then you go into a situation where you don't want to be dealing with them.
Right.
I mean, we do, and we treat everybody with dignity, but it's like, do you really want to have to talk to the mother who lost, a 14-year-old in Park? I mean, these are the things we do, and look, it's all part of the game of it's not a game. It's all part of the profession of being a journalist, the job, the calling for a lot of people. And it just makes my stomach sick seeing these politicians now calling us the enemy of the people or the enemy. No, God, give me a break. We're not in this to get rich. We're not in this to get famous. I'm in it for the sandwiches, but it's just how do we get here? All right, let's you know what? It's time for me to sing the praises of Tropical Acres
There you
Steakhouse.
go.
Perkins, have you been there in a while? Did we go
I
there?
was there with you. I was there with you.
Yeah,
This
you
is
can put
how
all of us.
this is how drug and alcohol addled my brain is. We went there together, and I don't even remember. We
Right.
actually went. I believe it was just last Wednesday with Lubie and Defo,
Yeah,
and
well,
it seemed like I barely remember that now. I just remember being awash in a sea of twin lobsters and some steak and all the good stuff they have at Tropical Acres. Again, I was in there for happy hour and I had a martini, which is why I don't remember much most days. They have a terrific half price happy hour that goes from 4:30 to 6:30 in the bar every day, except Sunday they're closed. They have the butcher shop open from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. every day but Sunday. And most importantly, they have the terrific dining room, has the the early bird from 4:30 to 5:30, and then the regular menu has so many good values the rest of the time. Again, Tropical Acres is 2500 Griffin Road, just west of I-95 and the Fort Lauderdale International Airport. This week, I would recommend that if you're not a teacher and you don't have a reservation, that you might want to steer clear till the weekend because they're doing this fantastic promotion. Well, we want everybody to go in there, but just be aware. I think they're actually fully booked, and you might want to call 954-989-2500, 954-989-2500, because Jack Studiali and crew doing something wonderful for the teachers who are just going back to school. They've basically had this promotion where from tonight, Monday through Thursday, any teacher who brings a valid ID will eat free. Get a free entree up to $35. And I think it was fully booked for most nights, but a nice gesture on his part. And again, tonight, Tuesday, half price wine night. They have the twin lobster special still going for the summertime.
Wow.
2 main twin lobsters steamed with side and salad for $35. You can't beat all these deals. You can't beat the value. You can't beat the hospitality. Go to Tropical Acres and tell them that the Lunchbox, Mayo, Defo, Lubie, and Perky sent you.
No Defo. He'll be back tomorrow. But we do have the one and only, the astonishing, the great Chris Perkins with us today to round out the cast. The sandwich man himself. Eat it, Sarnie. 3 sandwiches today. We're up to now 31 or 32 sandwiches.
So today is 30. This brings us to 31 with the fish sandwich, the mahi sandwich I'm about to consume from Shenanigans. And I'll eat it and I'll tell you all about their great 30th anniversary party after these words on the Lunchbox. People come to me and say, Mike, where should I go out to eat? I got guests coming from out of town. Where should we go? Cafe Seville. That's the answer. 2768 East Oakland Park Boulevard. It's a Fort Lauderdale perennial, serving the finest in Spanish and continental cuisine in a cozy, friendly, comfortable setting. Joey Esposito and Sally, his better half, they've been running the place for a long time. It's been open since the 1980s. They got great Spanish classics like paella, shrimp with garlic sauce, and all kinds of great seafood dishes. The stuffed veal chop, oh, that's my favorite. Go to Cafe Seville. It's open every day but Sunday at 5 p.m. for dinner. Tell them that the Lunchbox, Mayo, and Defo sent you. Do you like burgers? Do you like wings? Do you like late night food and sports on big screen TVs and cold beer and friendly vibe and great people? Then you want to check out Shenanigans. For 30 years, they've been doing a great job. The original location, West Side, 3303 Sheridan Street, just across from TY Park in Hollywood. Then there's the East Side location, 1300 South Federal Highway in Dania Beach. You go to Shenanigans, you get yourself all the good stuff, the fresh fish every day, the blackened grilled wings, and of course, the kitchens are open late in both locations. Go there. Tell them that the Lunchbox, Mayo, and Defo sent you. From our friends at Visit Lauderdale and Lauder Deals, don't miss Dine Out Lauderdale during August and September in Greater Fort Lauderdale. Dozens of top restaurants are offering amazing 3- and 4-course meals starting at just $35. See all the Dine Out Lauderdale menus from more than 50 participating restaurants online at visitlauderdale.com/deals. More taste sensations are being added daily, so plan your culinary adventure to Greater Fort Lauderdale and get your taste of the good life for less. Dig in now at visitlauderdale.com/deals. You like pizza? Who doesn't like pizza? Well, my spot for pizza is the Pizza Spot. It's in that little bit hard to find Riverside Park neighborhood of Fort Lauderdale, but it's totally easy to love. It's at 601 Southwest 12th Avenue, New Haven style. A pizza from Wade and Reese. It's a lovely outdoor spot. You could also pick up pies to go at 754-779-7788. 754-779-7788. Again, they're open every day but Monday for lunch and dinner. Some of the best pizza I've ever had. Go to Pizza Spot. They also have subs, salads, and more. Tell them the Gambling Gourmet sent you. If you like seafood in a comfortable setting, outdoors, Even Keel Fish Shack at the corner of A1A and Commercial Boulevard in Lauderdale by the Sea, that's my spot. It's upscale food in a down-home setting. The chef owners, Dave and Brad, do a terrific job with all the seafood classics that you want. They have the best grilled oysters in town, bang bang shrimp, lobster rolls, and deli fish specials. They also have weekend brunch Saturday and Sunday. They have deli happy hour 4 to 7, and they also have other weekly specials like mussels on Monday and oysters on Tuesday. Go to Even Keel Fish Shack and tell them that the Lunchbox sent you. All right, we're back on the Lunchbox with Mike Lubie Lubitz, Chris Perky Perkins. I'm Mike Mayonnaise, stuffed my face with a sandwich mayo. And we're done with the business for today, so we could chat a little bit longer with Chris Perkins. I have some food/football questions for you. You said you were at the game Saturday night. What was the tailgate scene like, and how do you rate Miami fans overall in terms of the tailgate game?
Oh, Jesus.
And I'm going to eat my fish sandwich.
We got to say hello to Bonnie DePacio, who's out there. Love Bonnie from our Sun Sentinel days.
Absolutely. Hi, Bon. I got to see you. I haven't had. I got to catch up with her. It's been a long time. Anyway, I'm eating my grilled mahi sandwich, blackened mahi sandwich from Shenanigans. They just celebrated the 30th anniversary over the weekend. Thanks to Pat Utter. Never frozen fish. He says friends don't let friends eat frozen fish. I got tartar sauce dripping from it. Look at this. Look at this. Oh my God. I'm going in for the sandwich, but I just got a little crunchy in there. Perk, how would you rate the Dolphins again? Do you see anything distinct at the Dolphins tailgate? Like, do people roast whole pigs, like Noche Buena style, or what's going on in the parking lots?
I don't see anything, especially Miami. There's not a whole lot of only in Dade scenes at the Dolphins game, which is a good thing, right? Not people blowing their horns and cussing each other out and fighting, and right. There's not a lot of that. We because we're in Miami, we have more tents, more shades, more shades than obviously we're shielding ourselves from the sun in November, and in Buffalo they're huddling up trying to stay warm and jumping off on lit tables. You've seen that video, somebody somersaults onto a table. But Miami is right up there. I don't know where we stack up in the league, but because
Green Bay is the best that I've ever seen. I mean, everybody's out there with the brats and the kielbases and stuff like that.
Buffalo is a good scene. It's hard for me to rate them. I've been to, I would say, to probably 80% of the stadiums. I haven't been to like Vegas, which just came in since I was gone, but I've been to
Vegas. In Vegas, they're just rolling craps and they're shooting craps in the parking lot.
You know what? They would probably think that we're out here with some kind of beach scene in our parking lot, right? Exactly. With sand and women in bikinis, well, like we used to have at the Clevelander at the old ballpark. But that's nostalgic. Don't make me talk about that. We're moving that place. But no, we have a great tailgate scene here, man. People are, a lot of music, a lot of people out throwing footballs, throwing frisbees. You have that good smell in the air. That's the key. And so people are having fun. Even if the Dolphins are frustrating, people are having fun, and that's the bottom line.
I got to butt in. This fish sandwich is excellent. My body has been craving some better protein. And that is some good protein there. So kudos.
Hey, by the way, let's tell everybody to be sure to get out and vote tomororw if you didn't vote early. Yes. And what's wrong with frozen fish? I like frozen fish, man. It's not ideal, but I'm offended by that.
I guess frozen fish is better than no fish, but I prefer fresh caught. And again, our guy Pat, he has a fleet of local fishers that bring him catch every week, and he gets sometimes this great, incredible swordfish, yellowtail snapper. He puts it on the specials board, and he always has a supply of mahi that's coming in. And I just almost downed the whole thing right now. It's so good. It tasted like gold. And again, I just picked that up before the show, but always good. I'm going to be going seafood heavy, and we got to tell people tomorrow, if you want to come out and check out the Lunchbox Live, we'll be doing the show at Even Keel Fish Shack for our monthly remote. Doing it on a Tuesday this week to give ourselves a little breather because we got more remotes coming up Thursday at Il Paesano with Visit Lauderdale and Neki Mohan. That's in Lauderdale, and that's going to be an Italian feast along with some South African and Portuguese things. And then on Friday, we're going to go check out this new Ciderworks. It's called Broski Ciderworks in Pompano Beach. And my friend Jeffrey is the chef. He has a burger truck called Jeffrey Eats. It's his second location. He's also outside the Barrel of Monks Brewing in Boca, but he's going to have us. They're going to open, well, just for us. It's not even open until 4 p.m, but we're going to go out there, Lubie, with Defo, and he's going to slaughter us with sandwiches. So I'm already at 31. Question for everybody out there, because I put it up on the group earlier, is does a bagel when it's closed face with cream cheese count as a sandwich?
It should, but who knows? People are stupid with these sandwiches.
No, well, people.
Defo is like weird. Defo is like, well, I don't know. It's like, why wouldn't a burger be a sandwich? I get it, it's a burger, but to me, I'm an easy
burger is
grade.
its own class. I could see that. Hot dog.
I would call that a
its own
sandwich.
class. But somebody made a good point on the group. They said if a grilled cheese, which is this bread, which is cheese surrounded by bread that's melted, why wouldn't a bagel that's bread which has cheese in the middle be the same? So if you count that, I had half of that with my daughter this morning for breakfast at Dunkin'. So I am now officially over the top. 32 sandwiches, only 22 days. I could die, and I've already hit my goal. So there we are. But
well, don't die.
Speaking of dying,
no,
Perkins, you're going. Maybe I don't know how you're dividing up the road schedule, but I see some really good games at LA and San Francisco. But I also see looming like a dark cloud on the schedule, a Thursday night game in Cincinnati. And the question for you is, do you run the risk of going for a big 5-way at Skyline Chili before the night game?
100%. 100%.
Really?
Man.
Yeah.
Look. First of all, let me tell you this. Now, when we looked at the Dolphins' road schedule, you can look at it two ways. If you're a sports editor, you say, "Damn, we're going to 5 of the most expensive cities in America: with New York, Chicago, San Francisco, LA, and Boston." Now, as a sports writer and somebody who loves travel and food, I love this schedule. Even Baltimore and Cincinnati. Baltimore, great seafood.
Crabs,
Cincinnati, right? You get a 5-way. You go, you go out to Skyline Chili or some of the other places there.
We have a big disagreement about. He thinks Skyline. He calls it swill, garbage, and slop, and I think it's one of the finest delicacies known to man.
Listen, I have a lot of respect for a lot of these local places like Skyline, where the chili is different, right? I'm from Texas, and I eat
Greek spaghetti.
With beef and no beans. Look, if you go to Omaha, you have a runza, which is kind of like the ground beef so there's all these different little things. I love regional food, regional sandwiches. So I'm all on with a 5-way from Skyline Chili and Cincinnati.
All right, cool. You're a brave man, and I guess just make sure that the either wear the Depends or make sure the bathroom is nearby during the game. All right, we're out of time. Pop quiz. Can you spell the last name of the quarterback? Tua. What's his last name? How do you spell?
Tunga Bailoa.
Yeah, he pronounced it properly. Yeah.
I'm going to take a shot. I'm going to say TAGOBIOLUA, but I think I butchered it.
My advice to you is copy and paste, but in about 2 weeks, I'm sure
I'll have it down. I'll have it down in about 3 days, guaranteed.
Just like Dwayne Wade, DWYA.
That's right.
Hey,
listen, I can't spell Dwayne normally because of that man.
Yeah, he messed it up.
All right, good luck with the upcoming season. I'm sure we'll be touching base both here on the Lunchbox and on the Morning Defo show. Really appreciate it, my man Perk. Lubie, we're going to have Defo back tomorrow. Tomorrow we'll get the full adventures of New Orleans from him tomorrow when we're out at Even Keel Fish Shack. It's going to do it for today. For Mike Lubie Lubitz, thanks to Chris Perkins. I'm Mike Mayo, and this is I'm just going to say, remember to enjoy every sandwich.